I was going to listen to Us.
Yeah.
That was my...
How'd that go?
I almost did it. No, I wanted to listen to cause I figured the best of I would love.
I think you
I
would.
don't know if I'd love hearing me argue horribly about Twitter. Don't I sound like how do I get past that part of it where I sound like a child?
I think there might be a level of growth that comes from it.
Oh, okay, so that's not me anymore.
Right, exactly.
Is my voice weird? It feels
it's a little weird, yeah.
Yeah, folks, please, maybe we should reschedule. This is the worst thing in the world. Is like, it's such a pleasure to do a podcast, and then now I'm looking for reasons to postpone it. Who am I getting over on when you cancel your own podcast?
Exactly. Phew.
Well, I dodged that bullet.
Beat the system. But I think it's nice. You have a certain Suzanne Plachette-ness to your voice tonight.
You should have seen how I sounded right after I slept with Suzanne Plachette. Plachette? Suzanne Plachette. You know what she said to me after she slept with me? Hi, Bob.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Bob.
Bob, I have to, but you?
I hope that's a callback everybody gets. I don't like this. I don't like Raspy J. Hey, it's the Grease Man. It's the Grease Man. Have a New Year to you. It's the Grease Man.
You're like a Jewish Kim Carnes.
Josh, his delivery, he didn't move his head. He moved his hand as if he was doing the lean forward delivery.
Yes, thank you.
Where have I seen the lean forward? Oh, the wife of Judge Roy Moore. It's not Rudy Moore. That's somebody else. Isn't
That's
it?
a different person. Yeah.
Who is that?
I can't conjure who it is, but there is a Rudy Moore.
I think Bob Odenkirk used to do them, or I don't know. Is it from those 80s, 70s blaxploitation films?
No, that was Rudy Ray. That was Dolomite. Is who you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. So I was.
Maybe that was Rudy Moore.
When Judge Roy Moore's wife, the lovely Mrs. Moore.
Yeah, Rudy Ray Moore was Dolomite.
So we were both right.
I guess, yeah. Sure.
Why does someone have to be wrong when you look someone up?
Exactly. It's not a zero-sum game.
Oh, sorry. I looked it up.
Wrong.
Well, she's the one who did that great delivery on some of our, we have an attorney who's a Jew.
Right,
My
yes.
attorney's a Jew.
Yeah, she Jewed it up for that.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
Whatever happened to them?
It doesn't matter.
She was of age, though, when he started dating her, right? This is like the
He
worst
was, but
way.
not when he first spotted her at her dance recital.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as we know, nothing untoward happened until she was 15, 16, or whatever
Exactly.
the age of
The age
consent
of Alabama.
Hey, the age of consent of Alabama is, can you make an X?
Wow. Now we're veering into Lucy territory now.
That made me laugh as a takeoff on material you would do about the South.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
I don't want to say that there's a lot of inbreeding, but my mother was my sister, and she was my daughter, and I'm a man. No.
Right.
Maybe,
the X wasn't quite meta enough to be not a joke. So, Happy New Year.
And you know what the age of consent means?
Oh, sorry.
The age of consent in Alabama, you have to make an X when you okay continuing to live in the horrible state.
Wow, nice. That stayed on the
rails.
That's your state on the rails.
Do we have any fans in Alabama? And I say fans, not like you say fans, like, oh, my fans love me this week. I say it with respect.
Yeah. We have, I think we've had some listeners in Alabama. I don't know.
I'm not anti-Alabama. First of all,
no, that would be That would be so.
Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley. No, and that's true too. A lot of people, like I've heard a lot of comics, and they put down the South. I don't. I put down everyone
because you're not allowed to go there.
I put down the things that are horrible about the South.
Sure,
but I try not to say. Here's what I don't want to say. You're from Alabama.
Yeah.
Please get out of my face. That I never want to get to that point.
That's too aggressive.
That's too aggressive.
Much more roundabout ways to say that.
Yeah. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
I have not listened to the greatest stuff, but I will.
If you do, you do. I don't care. I think it's the one to point people to when they ask about the podcast.
No one's asked yet. Is that?
I know.
You set me up for that.
Sure.
Oh, wait. Let me make that note.
Yeah, you sure burned you.
It burned me again. 2 for 2. 3 for 3. Now, if you're burning people, you know they always go, that's 1 for this guy or one for that. What's that scoring all about? Okay, and we'll be back with the most. In the meantime, in 20 seconds, I'll think of a more boring question.
Let me combine something visual and inane for a perfect audio podcast package.
And we're back. Why does that Helvetica font do this?
And we're back on break.
But you notice how it kind of has a...
Oh, yeah, with the...
Helvetica is only for the word Helvetica, which I don't even use that much.
That is weird.
This is the worst.
It was just created.
Is this a good grammar bit, at least?
No, it's not. It's a typesetting bit.
Helvetica more like... And then you come up with another thing.
For font of a better word.
Now, people... Ooh, and the puns are in the house. The puns are in the house. Wow. Who made that?
This is a little Morning Zoo-ish.
Who wrote that song? Hi,
Farmer in the Dell?
That's a goddamn... Oh, we talked about it before. Bow, 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 bow. Down, down, get down. Bow, down, 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 bow, 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 wow, wow, wow.
I'm a scientist. I'm an energy farmer.
Bow, 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 bow. I'm from Cleveland. Who do they work for, those idiots?
Wow.
They're nice people. They're just paid actors. I don't blame them, but I blame Exxon. That's my cough. My new cough.
Yes.
That's ExxonMobil, right? No, that's not a company, is it?
Yes, it is.
That's not Tex Tillerson's company.
Yes, it was.
Oh, so they do that one, right? Here's the problem. When you have a commercial for something with these products that people don't have, like Koch brothers. What is it? That's selling by Koch brothers shampoo. They're going, hey, we're the Koch brothers. Bow, 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 bow. We're good people. We're not evil. But the bow, 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 bow. You've seen them, right? The Koch brothers?
I have, yeah.
Well, Koch brothers.
Sure.
They even had a person of color in one of their commercials.
Yeah.
You know how much that costs for a Koch brother to hire a person of color? It's not cheap.
It's not.
Well,
I'm sure he's in the sunken place by now.
The sunken place?
Did you ever see Get Out?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well then that joke will make sense.
Oh,
in the future.
Spoiler alert. I want to watch Get Out, but then every time I want to watch it, I realize it's not a comedy, really.
It's kind of a comedy.
But it's scary too, right?
It's Twilight Zone level scary.
Oh, okay. I couldn't go to the bathroom for 5 years after watching.
Well, this is about a 2-month.
Remember that
job.
One? Room for one more, honey. You know that one? Room for one more, honey. It's the guy. He doesn't take the plane flight, and the plane crashes.
Oh, okay.
Room for one more. But does he go on? Is the Twilight Zone end well? Does it end well, or is it?
It ends well, and then wait, no.
What? What does that mean?
That was the twist.
You were doing your... I love the show even more than Twilight Zone. The Alfred, if his name is Alfred, or Albert, if his name is Albert Hitchcock show.
Yeah.
Which one is his name?
His name is Alfred.
Is it really?
It is.
You could have threatened to kill my entire family, and I'm not saying you should.
Yeah.
If I couldn't guess which one was right, I would not, in that moment, know whether it was Alfred Einstein or Albert Hitchcock.
Okay. So what chemicals am I fighting against tonight?
This would be great if you could say, why'd you come here high? Why are you coming here in a weird mood?
I just want to know what I got.
I smoked.
Because I know there's cold medicine probably. There's
no cold medicine.
Okay,
no
good.
cold medicine.
Okay, so
because
it's just pot. It's just legal pot.
I'm not going to lie to you. I've had
Don't
some
lie.
guanafacin.
Some what?
Guanafacin.
What is that?
It's the generic for Mucinex.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you about that. You're a Delsum guy, aren't you?
Wow. That's all I can say.
You know what Delsum? You tell me. Look, you think that I can control this? I can't control it. Shouldn't I see a doctor about it?
It's like Rip Taylor with cancer.
Yeah, right. And I don't smoke. Imagine if I smoked.
No, imagine.
No, I smoke pot. But I went online again, Josh, because I told my therapist, and I think maybe I go, can so easily lie without even, because I'm so used to making up stuff, or not making up stuff, but embellishing stuff. So I told her that actually pot is not bad for your lungs. It actually doesn't hurt your lungs at all. And then she said, really? I said, I don't know. I got to check it out. And then I went home and checked it out. And the current data is that it does not hurt your lungs.
Because it burns at a lower temperature.
Is that your...
Than tobacco, for example.
That's the way I do it. I smoke out of a sterno can with a blowtorch.
Okay, well, as long as you're getting where you need to get.
But isn't it interesting? They did big, large. I had an ENT man. I don't want to get technical with you, but I had an ENT man years ago tell me no one had ever come into him just for cancer, lung cancer from pot.
Yeah. No, the problem is that all these things are fairly anecdotal.
Well, no, according to this guy at the supermarket last day, he doesn't think it is anecdotal. Come on. Does that go on the list of jokes like procrastination?
It's right in there.
I am funnier this year. You thought it would be last year I peaked. Now I'm back.
Yes.
He's back and he's funnier than ever.
He's out of the trough for 18.
Well, you know what's encouraging to me? When I found out a couple people were, now I know they are actually, a couple people are listening to the show.
Yeah.
And not to hate listen.
No, we've really actually done very well in avoiding hate listening.
But
there are people who hate things about the show.
Yeah, and
they don't hate us.
What do they hate most about the show?
As their main avocation.
What's their biggest gripe?
It's usually me. It's usually something having to do with my...
information?
No, it's usually something like saying, yeah, what do I say? I say...
or something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's a great note.
Or,
hey, folks, if you have...
someone thought I was too lethargic this week.
Oh, yeah. So. Hey, folks, if you think... Hey, you know what would be nice? You know what would not be nice? Two people with my... energy level on the show. It would be like this. Hey, and then I might say something like that. Go for 2 hours.
Right. Well, I think, there's a certain amount of people who came to the show looking for you and expecting.
They came to the show for me, but for the
come for the stay for the.
This is all sincere laughing. There is at the end of each time I'm laughing, I put a little mustard on it. But other than that, these are real laughs.
That's just because it's hard for the air to get through, it sounds like.
Well, did everybody have the same thing?
There's a lot of people sick. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because I have I feel okay, but if I cough, it sounds like I'm going to throw a lung.
I've had a little gurgle today, a little bit of a cough gurgle.
I had that once in the Navy, a gurgle. Starts out as a rash.
Yeah.
Spreads all over. That joke I've been doing since I'm 12 years old.
Yeah.
That's not my joke.
Well, in its 50th year, it hasn't aged all that well.
Well, have you ever heard a version of that joke? Schmadoopy. Schmadoopy, I had that in the Navy once. I think I must be Rickles. It must be a Rickles.
I only know it from the last time we had this conversation. That's it.
We didn't know what started it?
In the Navy thing.
In the Navy. But the idea of something starting out as a rash and spreading is hilarious.
Always. 50 years and counting.
You know what else is always funny?
What's that?
How you doing, sir? Have you had that looked at? Boom. Have you had that looked at? He's sitting in the front row. We don't know what I'm asking. Has he had looked at?
Right.
But he's the thing. What's it called when he's the
mark?
Yeah, he's the mark. How you doing, sir? Are you feeling good? Have you had that looked at?
Right. Now he's filled with shame and self-consciousness, and everyone's laughing at his expense.
Hence the two
hilarious.
Hence the two empty rows in front of my shows. Did you hear my idea for combating people not wanting to sit in the front row?
No.
Yes? You have?
No.
Okay, maybe you have. Here's the thing. You put a fake, like out of paper or cardboard.
Yeah.
You erect a fake front row. They all sit. They don't sit there because it's paper and they sit. And then you pull that out.
Yeah.
This is the only way I could have a sold out show.
You trick people.
A sold out show.
You trick people into making it be the front row.
No, what I
they think it's the third row, and then you remove the giant piece of construction, and it's the first row.
I don't know. Here's what I'm saying.
I know it's not, it's just
it's not optimal.
Still drawing board phase. I get it.
No. I've worked on it for years.
I have a scale model.
Look at my hair, Josh. It's
nice.
out of control.
I've got a little bit of Dilbert Boss hair right now.
What happened to Woody Guthrie? Where's
Well, you just gave me too much shit. You made me self-conscious in a different direction.
Well, it makes me mad that I can't come up with any other reference for hats.
Yeah,
Do a version of Talking New York Blues. Like
you can't
Dylan,
make
maybe?
fun of the hat when it's not here.
How do they know it's not here? Oh, you wore that hat again, Josh?
No.
See?
No, I'm not.
You've seen my acting, though. I've done a lot of acting, and so I'm convincing.
You've been on TV.
Let's leave it at that. I haven't, I refuse to do movies, is what I tell people. Well, Happy New Year, Josh.
Nice transition.
That's it.
You brought it all back. Too.
It is the worst holiday. No, actually, it is a good holiday.
Yeah.
Because this year, my friend Tom Sharpling, name drop, he had a nice New Year's wish. I couldn't come up with anything. But a lot of people were like, aren't you glad this is behind us? This could be a good year. Yeah. Now, what people don't know, because we're doing this in the real time, is that Trump tonight has done about 4 hours of hilarious nuclear button jokes.
Right. Yes.
Hey, knock, knock. Who's there? America. America who? America just dropped atom bombs on your country.
I dare ya.
Hey, Kim Jong. Hey, Rocket Man. Remember when I called you Rocket Man last year? You heard about it. You've seen this, right?
I have.
And so what happened? I turned it off.
He got into a button measuring contest with a despot dictator. It's not, for me. It's just the hardest part for me is I have to keep reminding myself I can't root for Kim Jong-un.
That is really weird because I actually like. Well, he's a terrible dictator.
Oh yeah, horrible.
But as a persona on TV, I like him way more. He obviously has more skills than
This
Trump.
is one of those, the enemy of my enemy. Oh shit, it's still my enemy.
No, but I mean, look, when he examines the various things that they're shooting, you ever see the footage of him walking around the bombs?
Sure.
Doesn't he look like he knows what he's doing?
He totally does.
So Trump doesn't.
Exactly.
Trump, it's like you wake up every day and you start into a conversation with somebody. It is worse. Anything that you could have imagined.
Today was the most destructive day of the presidency, I think. Just because the scope of it.
Yeah.
Because he started this morning with Pakistan and Iran, and then this afternoon it was North Korea, and then along the way it was discrediting the FBI and Huma Abedin.
Oh, Huma Abedin, she should be in jail.
And I'm announcing I'm having my fake media awards on Monday.
What are those?
This is another one of his tweets.
Is this going? Oh,
Monday at 5, I'll be giving out my fakest media some shit.
Is he naked?
I think he's
naked.
I think so.
When he does it, I think he is.
I think it's the more he tweets, the more his tummy is upset.
Presidency's on the toilet,
he
right,
had
folks?
A steak that was under medium well, and he had diarrhea from it.
Folks, we don't like Trump. That's the message of this podcast.
Okay.
And we're not afraid to take a stand on it. But I'm telling you.
It's rarely you that nips it in the bud, I have to say.
No, but the point is, it's like, this is all, it has something, he has to be removed in the next couple of days.
Agreed.
So what do we do? Isn't this like
dun, 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 dun.
Can't we make a movie and say it's a movie? And then, I just can't believe it. Every day, I just can't believe it. And then the next day, I can't believe it. And now, the other thing he does, which I think is kind of crazy. Is
we are going to be doing a duck and cover drill at the 1 hour mark.
We should do it at the beginning of every podcast. Because then people would get something out of the podcast. I forgot. All right.
Okay.
First thing of the year.
The new year.
Of the new year, where my brain didn't go anywhere.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. He keeps saying these countries, he says, we've given Pakistan this amount of money, and they don't do anything. What is it? What does he think foreign aid is? I gave you $35 billion. Nothing.
All right.
What does he want from Pakistan?
Total cooperation.
On what?
On every issue.
And the other thing, when you have that goddamn Nikki, I'm going to say goddamn Nikki Haley for 4 seconds. I thought, okay, this Nikki Haley's okay. When I see her go out today and start to say how in 2009 when Iran had protests, Obama didn't say anything. What is happening? This has never happened before, where people spend their whole presidency talking about one guy and what he didn't do.
Right.
All right, I'm done.
And one woman who didn't win.
Oh, Hillary? I love the way he talks about Hillary, and he says that he keeps getting words like that pile of garbage Hillary. It's like he doesn't even. It's so plugged into his brain. Well, if we don't make it though, Josh, I just want to say this was. If I had to go out, I always imagined going out doing a podcast that hadn't quite caught on.
Well, dreams can come true if the world ends on time.
I would like the world to end during a podcast. Ours.
Well, it's certainly going to end during a podcast somewhere.
That's true. By the eye, every 8 seconds there's a podcast born.
Waiting for the end of the world. And we're back with another.
Is that what you would play?
Why not? It's a little nail on the head.
I would have people call in. What's your favorite apocalypse song?
Right. Do you have the food you thought you'd be eating when the bomb came?
Well, what about the neutron bomb? Is that always been fake or is that real?
I don't know.
What's the bomb that leaves
all the buildings
standing
and the furniture?
That can't. Why would you make a bomb like that if they could only have a bomb that would just kill people? Is that the idea behind it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's easy move-in for the conquering nation.
Right.
Yes.
How can we solve this problem that I don't have a great apartment and other people are living? And
if you annihilated all the life in the city, you'd be home by now.
I would pay money, not really, but allegedly, I would love to see that billboard.
You couldn't picture it just now?
No. Well, of course I could picture it. But people, it's just Josh, it's just a tradition between people. When you say something, the other person goes, boy, I'd love to see that. They don't really mean they'd love to see it.
I've never had that much affirmation before, so.
That's because you don't say to yourself, I affirm, I have affirmation. I am going to survive Trump. I am going to figure out the world's problems. That's how Tony Robbins does it. I will figure out the world's problems.
He seems happier than both of us. I have to give him
He's tall. That's why.
Is that it?
He's taller than you. When you're as tall as he is, he gets a good lay of the land.
You can see the whole playing field from where Tony Robbins' head is.
Tall. If I was tall, I would not stop picking on people. It'd be the only thing I did.
But if you were tall, you wouldn't need to.
But I would still. That's
you
true.
realize that once you get to our size, the world ain't so bad.
Well, one thing I realize, and I'm going to tell my therapist about this, is that I have an internal dialogue. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, going over past infractions in my life that have, people have pissed me off in my life.
Yeah.
And like fantasizing some kind of a yelling at them or something.
A grudge inventory.
Yeah, a grudge inventory. And also me like what I would do the next time something like this happened. Hey, fuck face, get over here. And squeeze him by the head. I don't know what it is that I think.
You do that. You rewrite the dialogue of the thing that you're mad about.
No, because most of my...
Let me do a rewrite on that last interchange we had.
But why won't the grudges...
I got some notes for you.
Oh, yeah. I would recreate my Comedy Central pilot and just start screaming at the executives earlier.
Right.
That's where I went wrong. And then scream at them for picking up the show COD, which was Comics on Demand. You could call up a comic and they would... that's what you saw... Comedy Central instead of Andy Town in 1996.
Yeah.
Was Comics on Delivery.
I would have gone with Andy Land, honestly.
Andy Town. See, you can't even get the name right.
No, I would have gone with Andy Land is what I'm saying.
Oh! I don't know why it
Note number one.
Me.
First note. Andy Land.
Andy Land.
Yeah.
Why am I still... I'm just...
First sketch. Andy Graham.
One of my favorite things I did in my pilot, which is probably an old joke, but it was new to me. Someone on the crew suggested it.
Yeah.
Was like, hey, you remember they used to have these things you would put just like 20 seconds of words into it and then it would play it back for you. That's all it kept. Was like 25 seconds.
Like a digital recorder.
Yes, I have one of these things. So if I can make
Or a
reminders to
greeting
myself.
card.
So guess what it said when it went on? That unbeknownst to me.
Is this thing on?
No.
No, I don't know.
Don't forget to pick up the heroin.
Ah.
There's nothing better if you can experience Josh acknowledging and rejecting the joke at the same time. The acknowledgement is so that you won't go further to explain it.
Wow. See, I can act too. That was a very compact and efficient gesture.
What? That you did?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't say you couldn't act. Why? I just didn't. You weren't right for that part on that show I was casting.
You're right. I get it.
For my,
I suck. I am no
my Neil Simon play.
I am no Rudy Ray Moore.
Rudy Ray Moore. Rudy Ray less.
Touche.
This is endlessly fascinating. This is endlessly entertaining to me. If you cut out one, or just cut out all your, not just you knows, every time you say no. God, I can't. I wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah.
It's a waste of space.
Well, that's why it's in.
That's why pencils have pencils. That's why pencils come with erasers.
Whoever said that? That's why pencils come with erasers. I would.
It was smarter than that's why pencils have pencils.
So my question to you is, why can't I let go of the anger? I'm not letting go of the. I'm better with anger, but if all during my day I'm walking around, like having recreated fights.
But you need replacement behavior. Like any addiction.
Oh, you think I'm addicted to hating myself or hating others? Probably.
Yeah, I think in some way you're addicted to that.
That guy's an asshole.
To that thing.
Yeah.
That soundtrack.
Right.
You know, it's what someone called. I think it was our friend Chris Bliss's. It was his acting teacher actually, but it's a good phrase. The warm, shitty place.
Oh, you see, that really is perfect.
Yeah.
That's my question. Why what do I get out of it?
It's the warm, shitty place.
But
It's familiarity. It's where you feel at home. It's where you go for just that, for familiarity. Obviously not comfort.
That's true.
You're seeking comfort by trying to recreate the thing that
I'm trying to win that, constantly beat up the person or whatever I'm doing in the fantasy. Yeah. But, like I woke up today and it's January 2nd in real time. I never know with Josh with his crazy, what is this? Is it salsa month for our show? I know you always put in these crazy
It's Artichoke Week. It's National Artichoke Week.
I woke up today and I knew that it wasn't, the party was over, even though I was sick for the whole time mostly.
Yeah.
And slept like a maniac. But I woke up today and I had that thing that happens to me all the time where all of a sudden my heart sank. It's over. It's too late. You didn't do this. You didn't do that.
Right.
You didn't do that. And then I was able to stop that.
Good for you.
That doesn't mean I'm doing anything, but at least to be able to stop
No,
that.
but that's it. That's the first step.
That really is, because that bus, that guy, I hate that guy.
Yeah. My dog woke me up at 5 this morning, and I immediately tripped the dread alarm in my head.
Oh, you thought there were people outside or something?
No, I just started dreading.
Oh, yeah, because it was a new year, right?
The to-do list started creeping into my world.
Well, you have what I have, but not nearly as bad, right? You don't torture yourself.
Well, I think we're human beings, too. I
don't think you are.
I'm sure everyone woke up with some dread today.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, shit, I didn't get that. I had really high hopes for that time of things I was going to do so no one could be mad at me.
Right. Now, what did you do for that? You just it went away on its own?
I just started doing some stuff.
Right.
That helped.
The difference between me and you, first of all, I want to say that I don't know anything about you with all of my, I keep telling you who you are.
Yeah.
It's all guesses. But my image of you is you're more mature than me. You're more self-assured. You're not as subject to ups and downs as me. You're smarter than me. You have a larger butt. Chicka bing bang.
Wow.
But no, I'm going to stop assuming what you're assuming. See, here's the thing. Those words to you.
Well, let me take those point by point.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
If you said, I'm a bad person at 5 o'clock, right? Whatever it is. That's not even what you probably said.
No.
That's the difference right there.
Yeah.
I say I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
Because that's the message I want to give myself in the new year as a motivator. You say that, you get out of it by starting to do things. That means that you're not as regulated by those internal thoughts. That's a very healthy sign. That means, it's that guy. Whereas me, I got to take that guy. I got to choke him out.
Andy, I have a bigger button than you, and mine works.
I think that he's going to write a book, Worst Put-Downs in History.
Yes.
Did you ever hear how Trump talks about like how great he is at Twitter? He goes, most people, they just type, but I'm great at it.
That's a template for everything he says.
Yeah, I know.
He saved us that was the other tweet today. How he prevented all airplanes from crashing.
What did he do?
I've been on the airline industry since I got in 2018. There were 0 crashes. So,
he's such a liar.
He took credit for no major airline crashes.
Man. So, what I basically am saying is that, I want to start being one of these guys who not only starts to enjoy my own podcast, but I get grandiose about it. I want everybody who's a spiraler. I want all of our thought people to have to feel positively. If you hear my negative voice,
the thought-sketeers.
Yeah, there's thought-sketeers out there. If you have a voice in your head that's yelling at you and it's my voice, don't listen to it.
That's how I live.
I walk by you don't even know how many times I walk by your house.
Do you?
And what if I don't think it's appropriate. Maybe you do, because I think I've heard you knock 4 times a day. I don't go by people's houses and say, "Hey, Josh, I was just in the neighborhood." I don't do it because I'm in the neighborhood.
Right, you're always in the neighborhood. I would say if there's any impulse to stop by, text me.
Right, but that's nice.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's rude.
I would not be mad if you knocked on the door.
Right, but it wouldn't if I did because I'm so charming.
Well, and I see you once a week for like 2 hours. So, it's not like I ever have a big Andy-shaped void in my life these days.
Well, thanks for saying that. I've walked every block possible. I don't walk anymore because of the incident. But these are strange streets around here because sometimes you have this is boring, but it's strange.
So far,
it's like some sidewalk, no sidewalk. Is there a law? Doesn't the city have a law of some kind? And if so, explain it to me.
I'm sure the city does. I can't explain it to you.
Good. See, the thing that I thought Josh would be when I started this. Oh, you started the podcast, but when I continued it, when I got it going, because you couldn't figure out how to get it online.
Right.
As I thought that Josh would answer these questions, like an answer man.
Right. You've literally been saying that since the first 30 seconds of this podcast. I know that from the Christmas montage.
Did you have a montage of that?
Of our openings of shows. And within
the
opening of the first show, you were talking
right.
about, I hope you'll be the answer man.
The fact that I keep saying it doesn't mean I hope any less.
Right.
But
or that I know anymore.
But it just seems to me that sidewalks, I don't know how I feel about it. But like some of your streets around here have no lights, no
Shel
street lights.
Silverstein wrote a book about that phenomenon.
What was it called?
Where the Sidewalk Ends.
So you're saying here in the corner,
I'm saying he made lemonade. You're just making lemons.
I pitched it already as a series. Well, what's up with the sidewalks? It's about me walking around town.
Yeah.
Wherever I don't see a sidewalk.
Yes.
I call 611.
Yes. No.
Is that you hearing a pitch?
That was you. That was me.
Oh, yes.
Being you.
Yes.
No.
Is it? No, can you hear me now? Can you see a sidewalk now?
Yeah.
Can you feel a sidewalk? People love 20-year-old references to cell phones. Happy New Year also. Happy Pot Year. Unbelievable. Yeah. Not in our area yet. Not in our...
No, but the other night someone broke into my house and legalized all my weed.
What? Did someone break in your house?
No.
Oh, that's a joke. But I don't think I like it. I don't think I like it. You're saying, I don't think that even in the... Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'll accept that joke, but my instinct now that it's legal is to hoard. So, like, I want to buy 20, 30, 40 pounds over the year.
Yeah.
But that's not a good idea, right?
No, if you want to hoard, get a medicinal license.
Oh.
Because as a card holder, you can have 8 ounces.
What can you have as a citizen?
1 ounce.
What kind of I'm going to be let's start complaining early about the legal. What kind of a crappy system is
Look
this?
at the teeth in this horse's mouth.
It's fantastic. I watched him the other day. He was in the Joshua tree. It was fantastic.
That's amazing. Look at that. It's a tree named after a guy.
That's from the Bible. Fantastic. But I have to admit, I can't stop watching.
Get a
him.
shot of this. It's a tree named after a man. Go shoot here.
There's a guy. Do you hear him say Lou? I think I hear him say Lou.
Lou, follow me, Lou. Lou, get this.
Lou, can you call if Lou is listening to our podcast? Can you call in and just confirm that sometimes it got annoying shooting with Hugh Hauser?
There was, I think, on New Year's Eve. There was a Hugh Hauser marathon.
Well, that's what I was watching.
Yes, on KCT. It's fantastic. I've been dead for years, and I'm still amazed.
It's amazing. Oh. I'm done with that.
Right? Are you? So, I need to know what happened with the report on your sleep study.
Oh, I can't believe that I told you to bring that up today.
Did it? Thought spiral follow-up. Did it? Thought spiral follow-up.
Have you been following Thought Spiral? Follow up. You know what I can't get enough of was my
Sleep study.
of my stings. All right, okay, yeah. The sleep study, I got contacted by them, and I have to go back again.
Why? You didn't sleep
Because
enough?
it's not definitive. I think they want to...
We didn't like your sleep. We were wondering if you could give it a different read.
I'm beginning to think that this CPAP machine is all they have in the sleep study world.
Sort of a binary outcome thing.
It's like... They even have a thing like, hey, if you start... if we think you need the machine, can we put it on you? That's what I signed.
Yeah.
So they told me it was borderline that I should.
That's cool. It would go with your personality disorder then.
That's not nice.
Wow.
I told the people I wouldn't say that. But then, so I don't know. I have to go back again, and I told the person I don't sleep at 9:30 at night.
And what did they say?
Can you think of anything more making you sleep than to go to an office at 9:30?
Yeah, no, there's very little.
An office that you know the next day there will be patients in there going, I can't sleep, Doc. I haven't been able to sleep since the 40s.
Well, it seems like you should be able to smoke some pot just because you're going to be every night of your life after that anyway.
That's what I do think. Well, but you see, I don't need them for that.
No, I don't think you should get a prescription, but you should be able to step outside is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's probably wrong of me to say.
I didn't even realize. Hey, can they? But you said, see, I would do edibles, then,
Mr.
but then
Kindler, your chart doesn't indicate any problem.
So you're saying, look, if I ate edibles every night, maybe it'd be better. But then I think I have to be.
Don't
listen to you.
Don't job the study. No.
I could take a lot.
I say just order the CPAP machine and skip the study.
I could get a lot of like downers or something. Get some downers.
Yeah, maybe you can lease a CPAP machine.
Are they that expensive? I think they are expensive, but my insurance.
I was in the hospital and they put a really fucking industrial CPAP machine on the guy next to me, and it was hard to sleep next to you. So.
And what was his problem?
I don't know.
You never talked to the.
I didn't because he didn't speak English.
You are so prejudiced. What did he speak?
He spoke Spanish.
I speak Spanish. Not really.
You didn't come visit me in the hospital, though, did you?
There are many words in Spanish that are similar to English words. If you spend all your time trying to translate what he was saying, think about it.
Yeah.
How can you be in the hospital for like extreme CPAP?
I think it was just something that he needed.
Oh, while everything else to help him recover from the other.
He wasn't in for a sleep study.
Oh, I was going to ask you.
He was a bad roommate though, because he would there was only one TV. It was a bad hospital. It was before I didn't.
I don't want to say it was a small hospital.
But he would put on Spanish speaking soccer games.
Oh God.
And then
Football.
And it was during
World Cup.
It was during the playoffs and the baseball playoffs.
Oh God.
So one night I turned on the baseball game thinking, okay, this is something we can go in common.
You only have one TV?
One TV. It was horrible.
Okay,
yeah.
That is not a good hospital.
Yeah.
You don't have one TV in the hospital.
No, you don't get that choosy when your colon ruptures.
I can't believe. Doesn't that sound crazy to you?
Yes, it was crazy.
You could double. Why don't you have one headset that they tie you to?
Please yell at me about my horrible experience. Please.
So okay, you put on the World Series or whatever it was.
Right, and he switched it to soccer.
Without asking you?
Yes. There was no communication. There was a curtain, and it didn't ever part really.
So in other words, you could have
Sometimes he had large gatherings with Spanish-speaking people in the room, on his side of the curtain.
Well, don't you think it would have been?
And he was an artist. He was sketching stuff, and people would come in and exclaim about his art, but I never got to see it. So I don't know. I honestly don't know if he was a good artist.
That is a bad roommate.
I think he was Peruvian.
That looks just like me.
Yeah, I have no idea. He could have been sketching me.
Oh my! So in other words, you could have gone back and forth all night just dueling.
I
with the
could
remote.
have. It could have gotten aggressive, and then luckily I had something with earphones that I just plugged in.
Oh, you see, that's the way.
I went podcast. I was also so fucking out of it.
You didn't care.
I had never been that sick in my life.
Who won that year?
I don't even remember. It was 13.
Is this with the intestinal problems?
Yeah, this is before just when they were discovering the cancer when I had the intestinal thing.
Oh, how long did you have that ailment? And we'll be back with Jews and.
I was in the hospital for 10 or 12 days with I came home for a day or two and it kind of went the wrong way and I had to go back. And that was the mistake is I went back to that same hospital.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Why did you?
Because it was an emergency and it's 6 blocks away. And I had a doctor that I was
I know this
dealing
goddamn
with.
hospital you went to. I know this
the
goddamn
Sherman Oaks
hospital.
hospital.
Don't say this shit.
Why?
Because one of the letters is out in the sign, I think.
It used to be the foremost burn unit in the world there.
Is that true?
That's where Michael Jackson went when he got burned. It was the Grossman Burn Center was there, and then that moved out, and the hospital didn't really.
It didn't keep up with the stuff?
Keep its prestige. No.
Oh my God. It really is the closest hospital to you.
Yeah.
That's all you can say about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, they didn't mess up all your procedures ultimately? Did you go to Cedars from there?
Yeah, I went for Cedars for all the operations.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have anything major.
No, I went there for the emergency room and got admitted.
And we'll be back with first world problems after these messages. We'll be back with middle class Jews complaining about how
Tales from the Writers Guild insurance files.
If that guy if Lou is around from Huelhauser, call in, and also if the Peruvian guy, what was his name?
Juan Miguel.
Juan Miguel. I can't believe you said Juan Miguel. You're supposed to defer or not defer. What's it called?
Okay. See, at least I flowed.
Well, I'm glad that time period is over.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
boy.
How come you never called me up to help you?
I think
we all know.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh.
I could fortunately say you didn't live in the neighborhood at that time.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow. That goes back further than I thought. 1913 then. Not 1913. Please. Do you know how often I've been doing that recently? I will write in a tweet, 1901 Space Odyssey or something like that.
Wow.
I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm comfortable now that it's the 2000s.
Good. Welcome
home.
So you were sick the whole holiday time. That's sad. Both of you were sick. It sounds like.
Yes, my wife's been sick, and hopefully.
Were you trying to top each other at times?
Well, you mean by having nonstop sex during the illness?
Said the bottom.
Please don't listen to honey. If you listen to one of the shows, let it not be this one. Do you know that I do the show assuming my wife will not hear what I'm saying? So if I had a serious problem with my wife, this would be the format to talk about.
Absolutely.
Well, Allison wouldn't hear, right?
No.
We have to talk about something that we can't tell our wives, Josh.
Right.
Let's do it on the podcast.
That's the only place to know they won't hear it.
Yes.
It's on the podcast.
And I'm going to admit to you right now that I couldn't think of one admittance that would be funny. I'm a woman? That's no good. You can't make jokes like, oh, I'm a woman now.
Can we go back to admittance?
I'd like to admit something that would be politically correct, but that would be damaging.
I'll be appearing at blah, blah, blah.
It can't kill you, but it's not healthy. I'd like to recommend something. Look, I've never had more fun than I'm having tonight, which makes me think it's going to be a lot of editing time.
A fucking disaster.
Well, how did today's show roll out? What am I talking? I sound like the oldest man in the world. It rolled out yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah, the New Year's show.
Yeah, the Monday show.
I don't know. It went fine.
Did you watch any?
Downloaded smoothly.
Did you watch any of the New Year's Eve offerings?
I really didn't.
I did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I have to say, and I have to admit, now why would I have to admit it? Because I actually think Andy Cohen's funny.
Yeah, no, that's in have to
I
admit.
know, it's terrible.
That's have to admit territory.
I have to admit because I watched 3 of the Housewives shows. And then I watched the show about the Housewives show, which is called Watch What Happens.
Yeah.
And he gets funny comedians on there, and I've come to enjoy his personality, and I actually enjoyed the New Year's Eve with him and Anderson. I felt bad there was no Kathy. Not really, but I mean, I feel bad for Kathy in general.
Yeah, I just can't go along with you on any of this, Andy.
Why?
Because I didn't. I watched maybe 5 minutes of it.
Do you expect me to go to the wall defending
You seem to be really. You're really taking a walk.
Okay, here's the thing that you might have enjoyed.
On the limb here.
You might have enjoyed this segment because I've enjoyed it every year. When they go to Randy Kay in Colorado and she's smoking pot and she never smokes pot.
Yeah.
I love that kind of thing.
I didn't see that.
And then Don Lemon always does he gets a tattoo or something.
Yeah.
I love to watch newscasters get drunk.
Let their hair down.
Let their hair down doesn't make sense anymore, right? No, I guess it would for a woman.
Yes.
So you watch nothing. I guess there's nothing to watch. If you're not watching AC and.
Yeah, I don't remember what I watched, honestly.
Hey, they're both AC. Did they do any jokes about that?
God, I hope so.
So how was your New Year's? What'd you do?
We hung out. I made dinner.
We made a lovely Christmas meal that neither of us could eat because we got sick. Not sick in the stomach, just like this great prime rib.
Yeah.
And I made this green bean thing with green beans and bacon and tomato. It was good food, and we had to throw it all out. Do you know how that makes a Jewish man feel? It's like throwing money in the garbage.
It is.
But I bet that wouldn't have bothered you.
No, I would have gotten over it mighty quick.
Because you told me you don't like leftovers.
I don't. No.
So if you had leftover lobster tail?
Maybe. Not for sure.
And we'll be back with topics neither one of us want to talk about after these messages. So, so we couldn't do any of that.
I did a big Christmas meal. That was, I did big.
Oh, what'd you have?
I did beef fillet, like a big whole, like a Chateaubriand kind of fillet, and Yorkshire pudding.
What does Chateaubriand mean? Like, what do you do with it?
Chateaubriand is like the center cut of a whole beef fillet.
So it's a kind of a big piece of meat?
It's about, a whole fillet is like between 4 and 5 pounds.
And then do you cook it like medium rare, or what do you do?
I cooked it probably towards medium, and it was good.
And what do you buy it under at the market? Like, what kind of meat do you buy for that?
It's like a whole.
It says Chateaubriand?
It's a whole beef fillet. A Chateaubriand is a smaller cut from a whole beef fillet.
Do you know what Chateaubriand means? House of
Briand, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. My comedy has not improved since the last podcast.
It's not a fine wine.
So how do you make dead spots like this come to life in the editing bay?
I go to the questions from our listeners.
Oh, my God, Josh. And you told me, and people say you're not smooth with the segues.
We have a lot of them, actually.
Let's do it.
Let's go down.
I mean, nothing could top what we've done in this show so far. I want to tell you something right now. I'm on my game, which is sad to say, if this is my game.
Okay, we're starting with David Gogo.
David Gogo, a regular.
Is comedy too watered down these days due to high demand? It seems that because of YouTube, etc., everyone needs to come up with a brand new hour way more often than in the old days.
I think the fact that there are more places to put stand-up is why there's more stand-up. But I don't think it is. You had the. Your joke was the joke of the century, voted joke of the century that Andy Kindler delivered, but did not write. That's what they said in the Orange County Weekly. Best joke not written by the guy delivering it.
Still not credited.
Still not credited. And that Netflix is doing a new half hour every week, so now we can binge watch America getting tired of stand-up again. You were looking at me like a puppeteer when I was doing that.
I was trying to remember it as you were saying it. I was going, are those the exact words? Almost. You did half hour instead of hour. But.
I don't think there's going to be, there's always a glut of everything. There's a glut right now of everything because I there's so much product.
Yeah.
But I think we'll always want stand-up, but I don't know if stand-up ever will play film like it does when you go see it. I don't know.
Yeah, the best case scenario is that all of the taped stand-up makes people excited to go see it live.
Yeah.
And then that, once people start doing that, then it does feed on itself. And I think the stand-up scene right now, at least in LA, it feels like a music scene a lot.
How do you mean?
I mean that, how every band has their own little community of fans that they bring to the shows.
I see. That does make sense.
It's kind of that way. It's like everyone has their audience that they've cultivated and grown, and those people will come out to see those people,
Yeah.
But it's, Do
you mean it's like the music business and there's not going to be any more money in it?
Well, I think it's already getting there, unless,
Oh, you have, really?
It's a pyramid.
I do quite well, Josh. I'm sorry, but I do quite well. God, do I not do well? No, I do well. You know what bothers me? That creek. That was one of the best creeks ever. Hey, up a creek without a paddle. Come on, EAK. I don't know what I was saying. What was I saying there?
Audiences, stand up.
Seriously, I think there could be nobody more boring than me because no one ever remembers what I just said. It's not just a podcast.
No, because we're all just like, where's it going?
Where's it going?
There's no time to think, where's he
How
been?
could that sound
Where did he
throw
come
me
from?
off? I need
don't
more
know.
drugs.
You need to notice fewer shit.
I need more Adderall, stat, a drip. I'm kidding. I'm not on Adderall. Not when I'm on meth. I don't know what I'm trying to do to keep people not knowing when. Maybe I take Adderall.
I think you take Adderall.
Oh, okay. That's for you to know. Did you go to your store today?
No, I went the other day.
And when is your store? Have you said to you, would it kill you to ask your store when they're going to be open to the general public?
Tomorrow, the 3rd, is when they apply for their license. That's the first day you can actually apply.
Oh, that's why LA's behind.
Right.
God damn.
So they said sometime in January is the best they can guess.
Because I am fat. Because I really do think that you really can tell a lot about people by the fact that as soon as it's legal, there are complaints that closes too early.
Right.
What am I going to do after 10 p.m.?
Of course.
What do you think an ounce costs of pot?
It varies in quality.
When it was illegal, and I never bought it when it was illegal, but I wrote a book about it.
Huh.
And they were like, you could get like an eighth, or it'd be like, it'd be $400 a pound.
No, an ounce.
An ounce, I meant.
Yeah.
I wasn't smoking good pot.
Like good pot was about $400 an ounce.
Yeah, and how is it that it's legal?
10 years. It's been.
Oh, in this.
Or even more than that.
Is it? But I mean, when you get legally, is that what it is?
Legally, it's still, the top shelf stuff is about $50 an eighth. So yeah, it's still about $400 an ounce.
What we're saying, though,
there's taxes eaten out of that.
That's right. But don't go thinking you're going to get a deal now that pot's legal. That's not the point of it.
No.
I'm so happy about it.
It's awesome. It's like the only thing from when I was a kid that I dreamed would happen that has.
I know.
There's no flying cars. There's no, but there's pot's legal now. That seemed like the future to me.
The other thing that happened quicker was gay marriage. I didn't think that was going to happen that quick.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking about that when I was 14.
If you had been thinking about gay marriage, you would have been in therapy. Folks, we're not making jokes about being gay. We're making jokes about Josh.
See?
Okay, so what's your answer to that question?
I think, I was a little disheartened by how many stand-up specials there were on Netflix when I was sifting through this holiday season. But
where did they? I sound like I'm ignorant. Where do they shoot it in front of? At different places? Is it like it's not like Comedy Central half hours where they crank them out?
No, it's everyone's responsible to make their own special. So they pick their theater, and there's a production company, and
that's the easiest way to make sure I'll never do a special.
Are you that far away from it that you don't know how it works, Andy? Come on.
No. I thought maybe they don't do a thing like live from the Cuckoo Theater, 18 half hours in a row.
I think they have one little series like the stand-ups or something, but mostly it's specials.
And so
Comedy Dynamics produces a lot of them.
I'm in business with Comedy Dynamics, so
right.
I'm all
Maybe
for
you should
it.
ask someone there.
I'll ask someone there. But I do think that what happens is that there's just a certain. It's very hard to switch into the mode of enjoying a stand-up thing because there's a certain sameness after a while just to the experience.
Yeah.
And if you look back at the whole history of stand-up, there's only a few great specials, like Pryor's special. I'm not saying there's only like 10, but it's there's not as many memorable specials. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I think there's a sort of natural percentage in show business, and it applies to everything.
Well, I just think that, like, when I saw Bill Hicks, and I was lucky to be friends, not great friends, nice friends with him. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I talked to him on the phone. I worked with him for 3 weeks. If you hadn't seen him, you could have the same experience of having seen him live. I think that's true with stand-up comics in general, or maybe I'm over-exaggerating it.
No, you can't, but it's not so far away from the experience.
No.
No. It's not as exciting. It's not, but you still get the essence of who they were, And
isn't that weird? Because music, you could argue, well, I guess if you're seeing music live, it's probably the greatest. But sometimes the acoustics aren't so good.
No, yeah. It just depends on your experience there. I've seen some great concerts that sucked because of where I was sitting,
Yeah. So I think the answer is that I give stand-up another 6 months.
Maybe.
And TV.
I just, I think there's always going to be room for good ones. The question is how does it, there's a whole industry that comes along with it, where all these people who are going to do the specials, and is there places for them to do more than 7 minutes,
Right.
Where are people going to grow their hours, essentially,
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I just think stand-up. I still have always of all the processes of all the different ways of making a career in the arts or whatever, which is hard to do. But I think stand-up, I still feel is like there's an egalitarian, except for sexism and everything else. There's still like you can go through this system and move up through being good.
It's not as subjective as music,
right?
There's a certain you always know when you're watching a good comic.
I see. Yeah, and then you might not. That's interesting. Well, why would I say it is interesting? I don't have to point it out, but it is because a lot of times I'll listen to I always give the example of Stevie Winwood's "Back in the High Life" album. I loved that album when I first heard it, and I got tired of it within 7 or 8 listenings. So you really can't go with music. Is very hard to judge the first time you hear it, and it evolves overhearing it, which I don't think is probably true about comedy.
No, it devolves over hearing it.
I'm not laughing as much at that comics Y2K material as I did.
Right. Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi.
Has Andy taken advantage of the new California law yet? Yes. And what's the worst corporate gig you guys have ever done? Andy hasn't told the story yet about someone hearing him on NPR on the way there trashing Mitt Romney. Not sure if that's his worst.
That would be the worst.
Okay, tell the story.
This is in New Orleans, in Louisiana, obviously, and it was a Jewish organization, and Jewish groups, sometimes they're temples. I think it was a temple. They can be fun gigs or they can not be fun gigs.
Right.
Jews can have a great sense of humor or they can not have a great sense of humor. Well, this was a hard gig in general. And then after the gig, I struggled. I don't remember. I think I saw people glowering at me. And they had told me before the gig, in fact, we had gone back and forth on the phone several times about it. Would you not do political material? And the thing is that when I do a corporate gig where I'm paid a lot of money, I tend to not want to make my stand there. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
like I have, if the topic is that it doesn't matter to me to stay away from it. Well, this was like there was some kind of internal strife within the board itself or something about my material. So I actually wasn't objecting to it, but as I say, why can't I just do, what if it has no point of view or whatever it is? They were just saying these were very, very conservative Jewish people. There were these conservative Jewish people who were on the board.
Who give a lot of money to the synagogue.
Who give a lot of money.
Right.
You know the story?
No.
Oh, that's it.
Well, yeah, I know the story, but not in this specific case.
So I had done a thing on NPR around Christmas about, I don't even remember it now, just about how you should vote Democratic, and I was anti-GOP and that.
Something Mitt Romney-ish.
And this woman comes up and goes, "We heard what you said on the radio today." This is what this woman said. I said, "No political stuff. We heard what you said on the radio today, and we didn't like it." Her and her husband. Yeah, we heard what you said about Mitt Romney or whatever the hell they were saying. And I was literally stunned.
Yeah.
What are the odds
This is
of that?
before your set?
No, this is after it.
Okay.
So the set didn't go great because I think it doesn't always go great.
Right.
And in a synagogue or whatever. But those people who were the people they were worried about actually came up and said something to me based on the NPR thing they heard driving in.
All right. That's some picky shit.
Unbelievable. Why don't I tell good stories? You tell a good story, right?
I don't really.
I don't tell a good story.
It's all emotion.
I forget the details.
You should go straight for that warm, shitty place of the story.
You don't have to. If I'm if I'm coming down on myself, do you really have to pile on?
I do.
Okay.
That's the warmest. It's the warmest and softest landing.
Ah, so you feel more than when you make me less than.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to see how it worked.
Yeah. My worst corporate gig was some bad Christmas parties. I think the worst, I don't know if it's a corporate gig, but I've told the story of when I had to open for the movie Punchline.
I don't remember.
Theater.
Yeah, did you tell them on the show?
I think I did.
Yeah.
That was bad.
That
was super bad.
Oh.
While people were walking in.
That is
for
a
the
bad
movie.
decision they made.
They made a really bad decision, and I.
Well, but
turn,
you would have had to have been in the. Were you in Minneapolis then?
Yes.
How long had you done stand up for?
2 years.
And was it embarrassing?
Sure. Yeah.
Is it because people didn't know what to make of it at all?
Yeah, it was when people walk into a room,
they just want to sit
their
down.
first instinct is to halt to go, what the fuck is going on?
And so what were you doing? How you people doing? As they're coming in, you're going, "Hey, how you doing? You heard about the movie The Punchline?"
I was trying to do an act.
Like regular. Isn't it crazy how cold it is in Minneapolis?
Yeah, exactly. And yes, I would address people if they.
Was anybody sympathetic to your cause?
Well, it's Minnesota, so everyone
was. That makes it worse in a way.
Yeah.
It makes it worse if they're feeling for you.
It was officially a pity party.
That is that is both a wonder.
However, the best corporate gigs was Cinematic Titanic. We did both ILM and Pixar employee things.
Oh my God!
In their respective high-tech theaters.
And they were. It was unbelievable. Yeah,
it was
that
super
sounds
fun.
great.
Oh yeah, we were like treated like total nerd royalty at those places. So it was super fun.
It is amazing though how, because I used to do a whole routine. I think you know. Did you know my routine about corporate gigs? Who cares? But they would go, "Can you do something about Bob? He's from Chicago. Can you do?" Oh,
Yeah.
sure, no problem. Where's Windy City Bob?
The truth is, though, is those jokes always work at those corporate gigs.
Where is the deep dish man? Where's Chicago, Bobby? Bobby, how you doing? You're from Chicago, right?
But you're like, this is 3 minutes I can do on fucking Chicago Bob, and they're going to be happy.
But then they're only that much sadder at the rest of my act.
Well, sure.
Because they have to be at this function.
Why aren't we in the rest of these jokes?
What? I think it's a bad booking, unless it's going to be Seinfeld, that you're going to bring someone famous to put a comic at a corporate event. Like, I'm trying to make excuses.
I would not hire you for my corporate event.
I did very well once, and made a lot of money once. I'm not going to mention the thing, but it was like there's a lot of money in this.
There is. That's why people do them.
I mean, come on.
And when the economy's good, they do them more.
Yeah. So the truth is, if I was 83 years old, I'd probably, if the money was right, I'd still.
Right. So next year.
What? People
Greg,
might say that's low-hanging fruit, but I still think it works.
When you get to a certain age, your fruit hangs pretty low.
Oh. I don't want to tell you. Low-hanging fruit, Josh. Did I tell you about my trip to the proctologist? I thought it would never end. My trip to the Hey, two proctologists walk into a bar, huh? You listening, Josh? How's business? Looking, I can't think of one more example of proctology joke.
This guy has to lubricate his finger to open up his wallet.
We deserve to be on some cruise ship.
We have a podcast from my house.
Okay. We deserve what we have.
All right. Greg Ward says, just help us ignore the pending nuclear holocaust. That would suffice.
Greg, I'm glad you pointed that out. Greg also pointed out that I gave him a shout out. You never thanked me on Twitter for giving you a shout out, but Greg Ward did.
No.
Because sometimes
I'll say stop shouting.
That's true. Twitter. That's true. People don't know this, that Zach, I just called you Zach.
You did again. That's more than once.
When did I do that before?
The other time you forgot, like you're supposed to if you can't remember my name, you're not going to remember episode 15.
Oh my God. What do you think it's about? It's just I'm a rude person or something's happening to me?
A little column A, a little column B.
A little column A. It threw me off my game.
Yeah.
Calling you the wrong name.
You were talking about Greg Ward. And the shout out.
Oh, the shout out. And no, it went.
How come I never am happy when you
How
shout?
come, right? And then I went to something else.
Yeah.
That's a good shortcut. Maybe we can add that as a sound effect. Whenever I go into any store like that, you just add that.
Hello, Andy Kindler. Will you be appearing at San Francisco Sketchfest this year?
I saw that earlier, and I will not be appearing at Sketchfest this year. And the reason why I'm not is I was not booked.
That's why I'm not there. We have the same agent.
But a lot of people I know are saying, how come they didn't book me this year? I say, how are they supposed to remember everyone?
We did with Cinematic Titanic.
Oh, yeah,
did a few sketch fests.
I love San Francisco, so anybody wants to book me up there, let's do it.
And second part of Randy Denton's question. And J. Elvis Weinstein, I really enjoyed your movie. How did you choose the 3 comics you took to Asia? Thank you. And I didn't choose the 3 comics. The 3 comics were chosen by Louis Lee.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you have veto power?
I didn't have veto power, no.
But you knew he would. What if he chose Etta May?
My first thing was like, oh, thanks, Louis. 3 white guys. That was.
Oh, is that what you said to him?
Thanks for that.
I didn't even think about that.
But in fact, they were very different comics.
Right. And isn't Pete Lee of a foreign extraction?
He's not.
He's not?
No.
Why do I think he looks somewhat Asian? Because I'm prejudiced?
Maybe because he made a joke about not being Asian in the movie.
Oh, in the movie. That's right. That's right.
Because his name is.
But you know what? I never know where people are from. If he told me he was from Taiwan, would I check into it?
No.
So you had a white man movie, is what you're saying?
Yes.
White men doing stand-up.
Yes.
And but no one, the whole movie I didn't think about that because I'm white.
Because you're a white man. Those with privilege don't recognize it.
I was very excited, though, Josh, when I was watching On Demand.
Did you see the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
It's on
fun?
demand.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's like
It's like hearing your song on the radio.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's on Spectrum for sure.
And it's on it's on a bunch. It's on
Cool.
Comcast and Cox and a few others and Dish.
That was very exciting to me. And, I would in the old days when I was single, I would have dated someone. Hey, it's my partner from the podcast. That's his movie, and that would have really moved
Cock
the date.
blocked you. Yes.
Move the date along.
Oh, can we watch it rather than make out?
How do you know I used to say that?
Justin E. says, consider taking the show on the road in 2018.
I think we should.
Sure.
But the problem is going to be...
There, we considered it.
No. We should do it. We should go somewhere and do it.
Okay. You're the one who has relationships.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The ball's in my court. I think I will make it happen.
Okay. Andy's going to make it happen,
Yeah.
people.
Oh, my God. That's the worst. Then you know it's never going to happen.
That's kind of where I filed it, but yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Confidence.
NJ says, apologies if this is too late and you are no longer accepting New Year's resolutions. I decided today to let go of the stigma of doing things alone. I'm going to see a play by myself, and I'm driving to Stonehenge because it's fucking Stonehenge, and I want to see. Thank you.
That is fantastic.
That is fantastic. A, that we have a listener in England.
Oh, that's right.
And B,
how do they get it over there? They get it through the channel?
Through the BBC. We have a deal with the BBC.
And BBC, the American Podcast Hour. This hour is the Thought Spiral. Please enjoy it. Hello. You're listening to the BBC podcast. And now it's Thought Spiral with Lord... Okay.
Wow.
You know, I was having fun doing a bad accent.
I just stayed in one place
Hello.
the whole time.
Hello.
I was listening to something from the BBC the other day, and it was like a year in review panel show. And there was this woman who had a cold on it. and she was coughing a fair amount, but she was like making like little coughs. But after everyone, she would go, excuse me. Excuse me.
Was that the joke?
Oh, pardon me. No, she was just that programmed polite that she didn't realize she was on the fucking radio.
And
that
she was driving you
her
nuts.
cough was not interrupting anyone, but her going, excuse me.
That's going to be go viral.
Yeah.
I mean, she went viral.
She did. She had
during
a
the
virus.
thing.
Yes, she had a virus. Yes.
Wait a second. Wait. Mr. Weinstein, come in here, please. Mr. Weinstein, Happy New Year. How are you, Mr. Weinstein?
Andy Graham.
Mr. Weinstein, I've looked over your paper.
That's the best improv I could get.
Okay. Yes, and what?
And it's...
will I need the CPAP machine?
I thought it was a CPAC machine. I thought it was with the GOP was involved.
Yes.
You know what? At night, they
pump money up your ass.
You have to take out every one of my laughs
Okay.
and substitute something.
And make a montage of them
Yeah.
and sell it as ringtones.
Montage. Let's use every reference we can use for jokes in the next 5 minutes. What are we playing with Pogs?
And Andrew, I don't think there is a stigma in doing things alone.
Uh-huh.
There's no stigma in doing things alone.
No, I think that's a fantastic thing.
I saw The Last Jedi alone during the break.
What is that? Is that the new one?
That's the Star Wars movie, yeah.
Yes, it's true. Yes, Mark Hamill does follow me, Josh. Thank you. Mark Hamill does happen to. Mark Hamill is a yes. He likes and he was in that movie, right? 'Cause he's very famous and he enjoys Andy Kindler. I don't know if he follows the podcast though. How was the movie?
It was okay. It was pretty good. It wasn't thrilling.
I can't see you going to a movie like that.
Really?
You're not a science. You're not like a Star Wars guy.
I am.
You are?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like a Star Wars guy, but.
But you're like a Marvel Justice League of Hoo-Hoos?
Wait. Okay.
The Avengers?
The Marvel Justice League of Hoo-Hoos? I can't. I know enough to know that was a mixed.
But the Avengers are always coming out with a movie, and it's always Scarlett Johansson is doing something.
I've seen many of them, but not all of them.
And how are those movies?
Some of them are really great.
But how can they be good? They're not real people. I'm kidding. I'm going to be more open. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to be more open to, why am I lying? I'm not going to see more movies.
How many Kenny Loggins III.
He's not Kenny Loggins, all right? He's the third? Oh, my God. He's his grandson? It's like Hank Williams III?
It's the kid. It's Danny's kid.
She will be like him, me as free as a dove, all conceived in love. Sun's gonna shine above, and even mother, I'm so in love with you, honey, and everything will bring a chain of love. And in the morning when I rise, bring a tear joy to my eyes and tell me everything's gonna be all right.
Slogan and Messina.
Christopher Robin. Okay, sorry.
Kenny Loggins III
Yeah.
says, how many airlines have you protected from crashing in 2017? More or less than President Dump.
Yeah, this is something you were telling me, right? That he was I didn't see this.
Yeah, okay.
He just says, you're welcome for there being no
Do you
crashes.
want to hear the tweet?
Oh, we can hear it?
It's a tweet. I will be reading it. You can't actually. It's not a talking tweet. Here it is. Since taking office, I have been very strict on commercial aviation. Good news, it was just reported that there were 0 deaths in 2017, the best and safest year on record. Dumb
You know how it's unbelievable. You know what else though? I thought you were scolding me. I thought you were going, do you want to hear these tweets or not? That's how poorly I think of myself.
No, it's okay. But he put
I thought
it
you were
together.
saying enough already with your Kenny Loggins material. I thought you were going to read me another Kenny Loggins III tweet.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I didn't communicate well.
Any chance I get to feel bad about myself is good.
Okay, good. Tweet Bahara, like to hear one of Josh's or Andy's songs if possible. Not possible this week, but maybe sometime.
I am thinking of putting out my stuff that I was doing in the late 70s and early 80s on like a Bandcamp thing. Bandcamp, whatever they call those things.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it yet. But I'd like to.
Huh, okay.
I mean, that's a great story.
It is.
Some of them are on cassettes.
These are, Tweet Bahara has a string of them. What comic books does Andy read?
The one I got for Christmas that I'm very excited about is the new Chris Ware book, who I love Chris Ware.
I want to read that Snagglepuss book that's out. There's like a graphic novel Snagglepuss book out that looks funny and good.
I don't even know. I thought I made up Snagglepuss. Is
Really?
Snagglepuss a real thing?
Yes.
It used to be a cartoon, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Exit stage left.
Okay. I thought you were joking with me.
No.
I also like anything Daniel Klaus, and of course, my favorite is Harvey Pekar.
Okay.
Adrian Tomini is good if I'm saying his name right. And Peter Bagg, Hate. I loved the Hate comic book. Did you ever read it?
I don't know. I moved on to the next question about 3 things ago.
Can you just give me a sign when you're emotionally...
Sure. What are your favorite Billy Wilder movies?
I don't even know that many of them. Can you tell me some? Is there one with the Sullivan's Travels?
No, that was not a Billy Wilder movie.
That was a movie I saw that I thought would be like a Billy Wilder movie.
Kinda, yeah. Billy Wilder movies, Double Indemnity is one.
I think I like that one.
The Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, Marilyn Monroe one.
Oh, that's the movie that I've never seen that I should see.
They play the women in
Some
the
Like It
band.
Hot?
Some Like It Hot.
Did you love that movie? I never saw it.
Didn't love the movie, but I liked the movie.
Yeah.
What else is Billy Wilder? 7 Year Itch, I believe, is him. Lost Weekend, another good movie.
Is that the drinking movie?
Ace in the Hole, another good movie.
Is that with Ray Milland?
Stalag 17, another good movie.
Okay. I'm sorry. I feel bad. The guy's good.
I used to see Billy Wilder at Kate Mantelini's on
Which is no
on
longer
Wilshire.
around,
He
right?
used to eat lunch there every day.
You did? Oh, he did or you did?
He did. Yeah.
Wow. Did you work there? Did you ever go there when the great Kate Flannery worked there before she was on The Office? She used to work at Kate Mantelini's. Just a little show business.
Probably, yes.
Little show business shout out. Not all famous people started out acting.
Wow. Gratuitous Phil, which a name he got from the podcast. Oh yeah, that's a gratuitous Phil.
Is that from the My Pillow guy?
Yeah, is my recollection. If I were to describe Thought Spiral as a sort of marijuana, I'd refer to it as the creeper weed of 2-person host chat podcasts.
I like that a lot.
Or would he refer or refer?
Oh my God! How do you? My question would be, how would you avoid coming up with things like that? Is there a way to deprogram yourself?
A.D. Morgan finally had enough time to listen to Thought Spiral latest. J. Elvis Weinstein and Andy Kindler, again funny, thoughtful, with a dollop of juicy Hollywood gossip.
I love that. I love A.D. Morgan. These are all very positive things.
Goddamn Kitty says, Happy New Year, you crazy hep cats. This show is so much fun. I'd call it comfort food for the ears, but that's just gross.
I don't think that's gross. You know what would be gross? If you called it dysentery for the ears. My goal there was to sicken you.
Yeah.
And did it work?
It was like an ass spiral.
I don't get that.
Okay.
Can we get down to this level ever?
I think we could.
65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. You're listening to The Quiet Storm.
Once we get to The Quiet Storm, I think it's time to wrap things up.
No, but let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Will we ever have a show where we'll say, hey, you're smooth man Josh, and I'm dulcet sounding Andy.
I feel like
Riders on the Storm.
This is the version of the show if I had a home intruder.
You let them in?
If we had the home intruder while we were recording the podcast and we were trying not to get discovered.
He's on it.
We're on with 911 and she's going, just do the podcast very quietly. I'm going to talk you through this.
Can you stay with me on the line? How much longer are you doing?
Andy's about to go off the rails. Remind him where he's at. Quietly.
Quiet. But I thought Riders on the Storm would be a song that would be on a quiet radio station. Riders on the Storm. You know what? I had a choice of not saying. Why couldn't I forget that?
What?
You were saying something. That could have gone out of my
I got to
head.
circle back for this.
But that I remember. But my gems that are somewhere out in the ether,
Exactly.
no memory of it.
No.
You're on your game this year, baby. I can tell.
Yeah. Oh God, it's gonna.
Baby.
It's gonna be glorious.
If we make it. If you don't hear this podcast, it means that there was a nuclear war.
And that's the only thing that can stop us.
Or some similar.
Or a gig.
Act of God.
Yeah.
Or a gig. Or work.
Right.
Paid work.
Paid work. Oh shit.
Uh-oh. Paywall.
Speaking of the paid work, I Need You to Kill, available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and pay-per-view.
Well, why can't I plug something then?
Okay, plug I Need You to Kill.
You can Need You to Kill is available on pay-per-view. Why am I burping?
And Andy Kindler's I Wish I Was Bitter, available on iTunes as well, isn't it?
Stop it.
Produced by J. Elvis Weinstein.
I am on a show, though. Oh, that is produced by J. Elvis Weinstein. But I am on a show called But I'm Chris Jericho. It's on the CBC. I play Chris Jericho, the wrestler's agent.
Nice.
And I'm funny, or I don't know. I that's all I can say. I can't say more about it. Do you know if I could lose it, if I could get sick by the amount of jokes that don't work in a row, I would be on my deathbed. Because I keep thinking they're jokes, but I don't think they are. I think it's always cries for help. It's an hour and a half cry for help.
Yes.
I have never seen you more ready to close a show.
Do you feel that?
I have that. You have the look on your face.
It doesn't feel like there's another topic in us.
You look like this is going to already take you 7 days to get through.
It's hard. Yeah.
No, we started out hot.
Yeah.
The first 30 minutes, I'd listen to it.
And go, man, I was stoned.
Now, I'm very angry at you saying that I'm stoned.
You're not anymore. That's why the show's over.
I did not. Oh, you really? See, you're pretty smart, but I did not come here high.
Yes, you did.
No way.
Yes, you admitted it earlier.
I smoked earlier today.
Okay.
I'm seriously. I would not have any reason to lie. I smoked at about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Do you think that's good pot?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're trying to sandbag me. You're trying to gaslight me.
No, I asked you. I asked you earlier. What chemicals are we dealing with?
I said I was on nothing. What did I say? Go back on the tape.
You said I smoked pot
earlier today.
Oh, okay.
I said I'm not going to lie to you. I smoked pot earlier today. See, if you smoke pot at 5.
5 o'clock is fine.
No, but I'm saying, how would you think of it? If you were doing something, the podcast at 9, you wouldn't worry about smoking at 5, right?
No, I would not.
How about
I wouldn't worry about it at 8:50.
You would, because we've made the agreement that.
No, I'd worry about you.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
Right.
You know what, Josh? I'd like to end with an argument.
I've never seen anyone want to end a show more, Andy.
I would like to end with an argument.
No.
Anything coming up that we should tease? Write to us at thought_.thought. And also, write to us what the best way you think would be to install a paywall.
You look like a drunk in a Billy Wilder movie right now.
I'm very upset, angry at you because you accused me of being high. I'm so angry.
I thought you said you were.
Angry?
High.
I came in giddy.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't have come in.
It was like Rip Taylor.
But it wouldn't happen that way if I was high. I'd be like, Is that the way I usually am when I'm high?
No.
I'm hilarious?
You're funny, forget. Funny, forget.
If you don't want to actually listen to the podcast, this is what it is. Funny, forget. Funny, insult Josh. Funny, ask him what's going on. Folks, if you're like me and wish that this show was over, call in. Don't you think we should write a close for every show?
No.